dead at the age of 46. Murdered. Who killed him? Why did they do it and how? This is the case of a suburban homicide revealed by you, the investigators of Precinct 13. The Klines and Timmons were neighbours. Gary Kline, his wife Jenny, and stepdaughter Christy lived comfortable lives despite Gary's need for control and bouts of emotional abuse. Martin and Alison Timmons had a daughter, Angie. She was the apple of her daddy's eye and his greatest pride. Angie and Christy grew up as best friends, but their families were never close, content to just be neighbours. Two functional suburban families living happy lives. Or were they? At 15, Angie displayed worrying symptoms. Tests revealed she had leukodystrophy, a genetic disease passed on to a child when both parents carry a very rare gene. She had maybe 10 years to live.
I'll be back in a minute, sweetheart.
What do we do?
When diagnosed, both parents must be tested for the gene. Martin and Alison's test came back with disturbing results.
Excuse me? No. I'm sorry, there must be some mistake. No, I appreciate you telling me first. I don't know who else it could be.
But she did.
Angie's been sick. We had to have her tested. She has leukodystrophy.
What's that?
Means she's lucky if she lives for another 10 years.
That's terrible.
It's genetic. Both Martin and I had to be tested, and he doesn't know it yet. He doesn't have the gene. He isn't Angie's father. You are.
No, I'm not.
I wasn't sleeping with anyone else, Gary. If Martin isn't her father, then you must be.
Why dredge up an affair that happened 15 years ago, Alison?
Because she's your daughter and she's sick.
Keep your voice down.
You bastard.
I'm not paying a cent.
I don't want your money.
Then why are you here?
Mrs. Timmons, are you all right?
Angie told her best friend about the diagnosis, but learned something in return that would set off a fatal chain of events.
I guess that's why your mum was crying before. Probably. When earlier today, after talking to Gary. That's weird. Why would she be talking to Gary and then crying? 'Cause he's an asshole.
Martin felt powerless concerning Angie. The long wait on his test results was frustrating. He was going to call the doctor.
Martin, sit down.
No, I'm sick of sitting around waiting.
Martin, please, sit down. I know the results.
Why haven't you said anything?
Because I have the gene and you don't.
I don't understand.
You're not her biological father.
What?
I had an affair with Gary when we first moved in. He came on to me. I shouldn't have. I'm sorry. You're her father. She loves you.
Martin, mate.
This is my house! She was my wife. Angie was my daughter. That was 15 years ago, mate.
Stop! Gary!
Get out of my house and go look after your own family!
What the hell was that about? Dad? Are you okay?
I don't want you going anywhere near Gary. He's not a good person.
Okay.
Angie and Christy were smart. They knew something strange was going on.
Mum won't tell me anything. She just says your family's having issues and Gary doesn't want us involved.
Mum and Dad aren't saying anything either.
And I still think your mum and Gary had an affair.
Maybe. Would explain my parents not talking and Dad sleeping on the lounge. What if Gary is my father?
No way.
Why not? Everything got weird when Mum and Dad got their test results back.
It makes sense.
And look,
Angie discovered that if leukodystrophy is diagnosed in infancy, it has a chance of being treated.
What does it mean?
it means that if they did have an affair and were honest about it, none of this would be happening.
The girls spiked Gary's drink with Martin's sleeping pills, prescribed to help him sleep while suffering his depression. The girls sent Gary and Angie's DNA samples away and got the result in 3 days.
He's my father.
Hey, baby.
Can I ask you something?
Anything.
You never told me what your test results were.
The results were as expected. Your mother and I, we both have the gene.
No matter what, Dad. I love you.
I love you too. No matter what.
Though Angie knew he was lying about the test, she also knew he was telling the truth about everything else.
What's up?
Mum's taking crap from Gary again.
He should be the one with leukodystrophy.
I wish. Mum would get his life insurance, the house, everything if he died. He does have a bad peanut allergy.
And just like that, despite initially being wishful thinking, the decision was made between them. Angie decided that they'd set up Alison as the killer, punishment for her part in hurting Martin and destroying Angie's life. Every week, Jenny made food for Gary and kept it in the freezer. He'd eat one for dinner every night. Angie left an identical container in Alison's handbag, who obliviously removed it and placed it in the kitchen. The girls now had her fingerprints. Gary carried an EpiPen in his briefcase to counter the anaphylaxis if he ever consumed peanuts. Christy ensured it was empty. After Gary left for work, the girls defrosted his next meal, stirred in a spoonful of peanut butter, put it in the new container with Alison's fingerprints, and refroze it. That evening, they told their parents they were going to see a movie.
Bye, Mum. Bye, honey. Bye, Mrs. Have fun. Thanks.
Jenny left to rehearse a play she was in with the local community theatre before Gary got home. He was going to be alone, and to ensure he couldn't save himself with a phone call, they would wait nearby.
Okay, he's down there. Be careful.
I will.
Angie and Christy left Gary to die of anaphylactic shock from ingesting peanuts. An act of vengeance by two daughters against a man who cared for nobody more than himself. A tragic homicide case involving two suburban families, as solved by you, the investigators of Precinct 13.